Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey everybody, and welcome to a show and tell. This is the Adafruit Show and Tell, coming at you every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. for a full hour. We're going to go around, check out what people in the Adafruit community are doing, and also around the world. And anybody's welcome to join in. It's free, and you will get eventually a sticker that we'll send you. It's all here on StreamYard.
Yeah, I'll mention this. This is the first time since the pandemic started, back in March, where we can say all orders are shipping just as fast as they used to.
Yes.
So we are minutes away, I think, from being able to get back to stickers because we were prioritizing first COVID-related and then
PPE.
Expedited orders, PPE to different regions of the country. But now we're fully stocked, fully staffed, and it's safe and smart, staggered shifts around the clock.
Yep.
And so now we've been able to remove the warning like, hey, it may take a couple days. So we're back. So please continue to support Adafruit. And, it keeps us going. We're here. We're surviving.
We're there.
And so let's kick it off with our partner,
Kevin.
And friend, and more, Kevin from Digi-Key.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Yes, we're doing good.
Good. You guys have a big unboxing tonight, I heard.
We do.
There is, and also special thanks to Digi-Key who's supported AdaBox. I'll say this: our 4,000 plus people were very patient. We gave them updates on what was happening, and a lot of people are going to be making with Digi-Key tonight at 8 p.m. with John Park. And thank you, Digi-Key, for helping fuel AdaBox, not only now but in the past.
In the future, yeah. And thank you for letting us be a part of it. The AdaBox has been great for us. We love to be a part of it. Anytime we can get hardware into people's hands, it's a win-win for everybody.
And you know what I love? Like everyone that is getting it now, it's like everyone's so positive.
Yeah.
Like everyone is like, hey, we know this took a long time to get to us, but it's totally cool. This is great timing. I really needed something to take my mind off of Earth.
Yeah, I think it's also like, okay, if AdaBox is shipping, then there's hope that
things are coming back.
Yeah, it's like there's possibilities, and I think that's what a lot of us need is like, okay, like we got a shot. We just gotta like be good to each other and like be smart and like we could do this, and this is the way to do it.
Yeah, it's like now what's next? What's the next thing that's going to come back? I know we had a good July in sales, so we can feel that things are starting. I wouldn't say normal, but starting to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll do our Ada News Network news. It looks like for us as well, July is going to be one of our best months of the year because the demand is there and we're recovering and people really wanted our stuff. So far so good. We just did a meeting with our team. I'm like, hold on tight. We got to get through it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the unboxing with John Park tonight. I definitely am going to be a part of it. I have my AdaBox is sitting right over here, so it's going to be cool. I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah, it might be a surprise. I'm not going to give you a clue on what it is, though. But speaking of clue, what you working on?
Clue, I know a couple of weeks ago I mentioned I wanted to make a large format clue. Like I know John Park has made a Metro board in the past. We've made a circuit playground, so I wanted to try it. I don't know that it's going to be to the level of John Park or Smooth Technology that made the large circuit playground, but I've been kind of messing around with making a clue. So here's my clue. It's just phase one. Obviously, it's going to be red and not white. I created out of a half-inch clear plexiglass, so eventually I would like it to glow after I drill all the holes and put all the images on it and get everything working. I have 3D printed buttons. I know it's really hard to see. It's really dark down here.
No, I can see that they got a little dent in them too. It's like
it's got the little. I'm going to make a red front for it so it looks like a button, and then I have a power supply to drive all these LEDs. I got these running on Adafruit's demo code today, which is really bright.
Yeah.
I was excited that, okay, I got it working. Now let's get some images into it. So this is my large clue. The LEDs are running off a Feather NRF 52840, which is a great device. I thought about running it off a clue, but I needed a little bit more horsepower, so I went with that. And I want to do some other things with it as well.
All right, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'll give you another update in a couple of weeks or whenever I'm on next. But it's fun to work on these kind of projects, especially sitting at home away from people.
Unless you make one.
And what people don't know, that's actually a regular size clue. Digi-Key is able to shrink down things. So that's a
Kevin's
actual
actually this
that's an
tall.
actual size clue. That's a mini Kevin.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't want to give away the
Yeah.
clue.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. We'll see you next week. And again, thank you so much for your partnership, your friendship with helping us out at Adafruit over the last few months. And hopefully we'll all try to recover together. Sounds like Digi-Key is on the mend. Sales are going good. Same over here at Adafruit. So thanks for helping us make that happen.
Yeah, I think things are all going the right direction. It's great to see everybody, and I look forward to see what's next on Show and Tell and the unboxing tonight with JP. It's gonna be great.
Okay, right on. Thank you so much, Kevin. Okay, next up, we're gonna get to some Adafruit peeps, and then we're gonna get to the rest of the community and more out there. First up, Trevor, you have an app that you've been working on.
Hey. Yeah, so I've been working on a pedometer app. So last week, the last time I was on Show and Tell, I had a pedometer app. And this is how it looked. This was last week. Let me show that right now. Boom. So this was last week. It's pretty cool. It had like a little animation thing going on.
It's neat. But very corporate. This looks like hey, welcome to your wellness program. We need to walk. It's very Microsoft Blue, LinkedIn. I'm walking around.
Oh yeah. So so decided to make it a bit more interesting and turn it into like a Tamagotchi style pedometer app where you have a little digital plant that you have to walk in order to water it. If you don't water it, it's literally going to show an image that says gone to find love. You should have walked, and No
one wants to kill the virtual plant. I think a lot of people, they love the idea of having a house plant, but they're just scared they're going to be responsible for this thing. So a digital version might be, a good thing. And people should probably walk a little bit more. So this thing will grow as you walk. Is that?
Oh yeah. So you water it when you walk, and there it is.
Oh,
so it's like a little bean.
Boom. So see, I walked today. I did my 4,000 steps. So yeah, my plant was watered, and being that I watered it for about a couple of days now, it actually like evolves into a seedling.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Check it out. So yeah, that's it. It's a nice, healthy seedling. I'm going to continue to walk. Yeah. That's little eyes, yeah.
And then it looks at you like, why haven't you walked? I'm dying. All right. Okay, so it's grown up.
There it is. There's still one more stage, but I have to do a bit more walking.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Let's Trevor.
Outstanding. And this was part of the latest like Apple dev stuff that you've been picking up, right?
Yeah. So this was all done in Swift UI. Still super new language. Still, I'm guessing it's going to change soon, but it's very awesome. Hopefully they do like an AR, a cool AR update soon. Imagine having like a little ceiling AR thing that you can like watch grow in real life. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Trev. Well, very cool. And come back and show some more updates as you skill up with Swift and more.
Will do.
All right. See you around.
Peace.
Next up, Melissa. Melissa, what you got going on this week?
I have a little demo running with a library I'm working on developing called Matrix Portal. And it's this one's just showing for my YouTube channel, like the number of views and subscribers. And it's actually really easy to do. Basically what I did is I told it like get the subscriber, well, it grabs all the data, and then it has a field for the subscribers and a field for the viewers, and it just kind of swaps between showing them and scrolling them onto the screens.
It's nice scrolling action there.
Thanks.
That's good.
And now it's like downloading like an update here, and then it'll continue in just a second. So
okay. All right, so you need more subscribers. All right, folks, go.
I do.
Get it to 1,000.
I need about 5 more there.
That's right. Or 5 or 352 or whatever.
Yeah.
What's cool is this is, we got one of the silver play buttons back when, right? I don't think we hit 100,000 or something like that. That's cool, but eventually YouTube is gonna have to upgrade and probably have something like this. So this will be the button that you get, because once you get that once, then you could just have it keep updating. So all right. Very cool. Well, thank
All
you
right,
so much,
nice
Melissa.
work, Melissa. Coming soon.
Yeah.
To CircuitPython
See
library
you
near
next
you.
week, maybe, and more. All right. Next up is Jeff. Hello, Jeff. What you got going on this week, Jeff?
Hello there. So I was going to show off. You can go to the camera. All right.
Yeah.
This is my little 3D printed knob. Nothing hiding down here. Maybe just something special. And when you put it on, it becomes a jog wheel.
Wow, magical.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
So I'm using an Adafruit Feather Sense. And right about, let's see, is it this guy here? Is the magnetometer.
Yeah.
So
it's a hint.
When you put your magnet in the wheel, then it becomes the governing North Pole.
Yeah.
And you can read the direction with just a little bit of arithmetic. And then with the HID library of CircuitPython, you turn that into wheel scroll events. And it was a couple of 3D prints that I designed and put together, and fun little project. And I'm going to post the code on a gist. The 3D printed parts are a little finicky because every magnet is different, and you need to kind of be at that sweet spot where you don't overwhelm the magnetometer, but you do overwhelm anything else around you that is kind of creating a magnetic field. So, up here it doesn't work. You've got to, get it to just the right distance for it to work. So kind of turning it into a manufacturable item, especially if it's like your finest neodymium magnet from eBay, is a little bit of a puzzle. But it was fun, and it works. You just have to change the geometry until you're happy with it.
I think
it's a rainbow.
Yeah, this is really neat, and I think it'll help unlock a lot of other projects. Like, this is a neat ambient thing. Like, you can see it and understand something's happening, and then you can dig into it, and then anyone can make this. This is normally something that you would see in a science fiction movie where the character would have a necklace and they put it up to the wall and they turn it, and then like, a bunch of things happen. So I think this is going to be a really good jumping off project for folks.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that you take the knob off, and I'll probably conceal this under some putty or something, so it's not so obvious. But it's just two things, and when you put them together, it does something, and that is fun.
Yeah, it'd be neat. People make like cool puzzle boxes, and like you have to like turn it on the side, or you have to like do something that can make an electronic version of that.
Puzzle boxes. People love magnets.
Yeah,
they're great.
All right, very cool.
Okay, nice,
Jeff.
nice knob.
Yeah,
Jeff. That's good.
See you next time.
Good science. I learned a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
get rid of that. Next up, Noe and Pedro.
Noe and Pedro, what you got going on this week?
Hey, what's up, folks? Can you hear us okay?
Yep.
Yeah, this is like Toys from the Future edition. It's like, okay,
it's your identity disc that you can play.
My magnetic knob, and now it's this is a cat toy for people, it looks like.
Yeah, so this is inspired by one of those retro arcade games. I don't remember seeing these in like the Chuck E. Cheese, but my son was able to remember this. So the goal of the game is to have this LED light run around the strip, and as it gets over to the target points, kind of blown out here, but there's 3 target points. Is when you get into that area, you hit the button, and hey, I got it. Cool. Okay. It advances and changes colors as you level up.
A lot faster and a lot more frustrating, a lot more challenging. Super fun to have,
Yeah, we were playing it before, so let's so
okay.
This is a collab project, of course.
Yeah, it's hard.
And yeah, it's good.
Okay, cool. So this is
collab project, Liz Clark, all written on CircuitPython. She's using the LED animation library, so it's cool stuff. Snap together 3D printed part. What else we got on
It's using the feather, so we got the little 420 milliamp battery inside the case, and that we can recharge the battery over USB. And it's all done in CircuitPython, I think you mentioned.
Yep.
This looks super fun.
I know, so it's hard to talk about it when you're playing it. It's like
it's more addictive than you think. You're just like, oh, it's a very simple game, but actually, it's kind of cool.
So of course, because pandemic and everything, Chuck E. Cheese closed, so we'll never be able to play this again. So you can build your own.
What's cool is it's scalable. If folks wanted to make a bigger version of this, you could just
pay 25 cents or 50 cents. It's free.
Yeah.
That was
You
kind of
can
close.
work on advanced versions and have multiple ones, and you can have it like, my
Keep
first star game
score.
for price or something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to add like speakers and everything.
Right. It could be adapted to other NeoPixels. Maybe the rings would look really cool.
The dots, yeah.
Yeah, with the dots.
So we want to bleed into some stuff that Noah's prototyping.
Yeah. So we're working on some solenoid stuff. So I printed some mounts for this little 12-volt solenoid, and we have some linkage here to do a little bit of mallet action. So what we're going to try to do is, of course, we could play this symbol here that we have, but why not try to play the game?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can.
You actually are just remaking Chuck E. Cheese, like
Right.
kind of on.
Oh yeah,
I still got. So it's running MIDI, and I'm just hitting my keyboard here. I gotta line up the camera right. Alrighty, and here it comes.
I don't think you'll get it.
Yeah, I probably won't get it. No, I hit the wrong button. I have to have Logic open, so
Okay.
there's still some work to do there.
But
But
this works. Though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do that for next week.
yeah, we'll do it next week.
I like the little symbol. That's cool.
Yeah, super cool. Super cute. So again, 3D Hangouts, we spent a whole hour talking about all of this, so definitely check that out. We have all the STLs, all the step files, all the EagleCAD files available too, so you can download all those on the Learn system.
Yay!
Cool project. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, Collin, you're up next.
Hey,
Collin, what you got going
how you
on?
doing? I was here a while back, I think, and I talked about a toy from the past, perhaps you might consider after these beautiful things. A tiny mechanical keyboard that only writes vote or perhaps veto or some other support, but primarily designed for writing that word.
When people say, I really want to start using Twitter, maybe this is the first keyboard they get issued. Maybe this is a training wheels keyboard first.
It's sort of an answer all. It's a good reply all to any heated debate right now. You can
just vote. Yeah, so I think that might be
applicable.
It's either going to solve the
versatile.
problems or cause more problems.
Right, and so now, so that everyone can utilize such a tool for humanity, there is a guide now available on the Adafruit Learning System on how to build your own. So you should go check that out. And beyond that, you could use it for things beyond typing, of course, because it is running CircuitPython on a Trinket M0. And you could even make music, perhaps.
A lot of people don't know Collin was commissioned to make the next video for the Lincoln Project. So that's it. That's world premiere right there.
Yeah, that was easy. We're going soft now. We're taking a turn. Yeah.
All right.
All right, nice work, Collin.
All right, excellent. And just on a serious note, everyone, Adafruit does paid day off for voting. We decided to do this years back. If you work at a company, email the folks who are in charge of things like that. If you need help, email me, and I'll help you with that email because it's something that a lot of the rest of the world does. There's still plenty of time. There's 98 days left. It's really hard for some people to get out and vote. There's poll workers that each city and state's going to need. It's one of the things that we get to do in a society. So if you need any help, pt@adafruit.com. But 98 days. So make the keyboard, but also
make your voice heard.
Yeah, if you're working, ask your employer what would it take. One of the approaches that I've helped out folks with is just say, hey, what it would take. And sometimes companies are like, well, what it'll take is we have this goal that we want to have, or we have to just rearrange schedules so everyone can do it. Usually there's a solution. So don't be scared to ask in a good way, because a lot of times there's good results. So anyhow.
Make it the new real.
Okay, thank you so much, Collin.
Thanks, Collin.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up, let's go to Paint Your Dragon. Paint Your Dragon.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. I'm going to switch cameras. I have an update on something from a couple weeks ago. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go.
Okay.
I showed this a couple weeks ago. It's these little OV7670 cameras that are like super cheap. People use them in Arduino projects, but typically you get like 3 to 5 frames a second out of it. And now we have this, this ARM microcontroller. Anyway, it's doing really fast, like 30 frames a second video out of the camera to the TFT display. real time stuff, which is I showed before. But the important thing is there's a library is now available for it in the Arduino license library manager. I'm tired. There's a learning system guide and blogged about it. So info's there. And at the moment, it just kind of does camera to TFT at the moment. Not doing any processing on the image yet, but that's kind of the next step with this. So that's all live. But kind of a fun aside with it is I have another version here on another shield. This camera it's a little bit chonky. It's a big thick thing.
Heft.
There's a tiny version that I found. I don't even know if you can see it there, but it is software compatible with all the same commands and everything. It was practically a drop-in replacement. So here it's on a carrier board right now. It's actually the camera itself is this little tiny thing. It's barely bigger than a NeoPixel. So I don't know where that's going, but it's interesting. It might fit on a feather wing or something.
Yeah.
So, that's what I got going on. It's all Grand Central based right now, but we'll see where it goes. So
Nice.
that's me.
Thank you so much, Paint Your Dragon.
You bet.
See you next week and more. Next up, let's go to
Lucien.
Lucien. Hello.
Hey,
How are
how's
you?
it going?
Hey.
How's it going, folks?
Good.
Yeah, so this week, this is something that I was working on over the weekend. This is a board that was made by Joey, the open book from Oddly Specific Objects, which normally is an open source ebook with this e-paper screen. But I've reprogrammed it to using his Babble library, which is this really cool library that puts all of Unicode or a lot of Unicode characters on a little NOR flash chip so that you don't have to fit them onto one of the CircuitPython drives, which is a tight fit. So it basically gives you a bunch of international font support. And I was like, well, I'm trying to learn different languages. I know a lot of people are trying to learn different languages. I'm going to try and make a little language learning flashcard app. So that's what this is. Hopefully I put in just a bunch of random verbs, so hopefully it doesn't spit out anything embarrassing. But this is basically a way to translate your whether you can remember what to say for one of these or what the kanji mean or whatever. This is for Japanese. So you can practice. So the system under this basically assembles sentences based on any verb, any noun, and then you put in a little tag, and it'll replace that with any given entry for that category, right? So I've got a category for past tense, personal actions like sang or, crossed or went to work. And I've got some nouns for people. I've got some adjectives. Japanese is kind of a really big pain in the butt language for conjugation. It's really important to practice a lot of conjugation. So this is a really good way to okay, I'm really bad at past tense adjectives in Japanese. I'm going to make a little card that needs, that's just going to spit out a whole bunch of combinations of every different kind of conjugation for, this kind of adjective in Japanese. And it's going to basically it's going to auto-generate, you can auto-generate as many words as you've got, as many cards as you've got words that you download offline into an XML file and run through some of the little helper utilities together. So yeah, anyway, I'm hoping to kind of expand the whole thing with a big tag system so that you can, practice words that if you see a word that you're like, wow, I really had a really hard time with that, I'm going to do a whole deck that's just around that word in every kind of context the system can think up and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully, and it's all on e-paper, so you can do it and it won't keep you up.
Yeah, funny side note. So we're friends with Joey. We were going to film together with Hackaday on site because Joey won the Hackaday prize. It was the feather contest.
Right. Yeah.
On Hackaday.
On Hackaday.
He earned it. This thing is awesome.
Yeah. And,
yeah, it was like, I was like, there's only
and
really
so-
one winner.
we had to
They're all good though.
we had to press pause on that. Then he just recently returned to New York, just got through his 14-day quarantine. We gave Joey a guest account on the Adafruit blog because we said, well, let's just keep this conversation going no matter what. And then this weekend, I'm going to see him at a park, and we're going to stay 6 feet apart and wear masks and all that stuff. But we're going to be able to talk about this project because it's an electronics project and it's e-ink and it's outside, because I wanted to see it in person. And like, I was going to do a little outside video together. So, technology finds a way.
Eventually.
So we'll maybe there'll be an update next week. But super cool project, and just it's one of the ones that when you see it, it brings delight because it's
just show it off again. He's got all the documentation.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
label is what it
cool.
is. It's so cool.
And also, just shout out to Joey. I was having some trouble getting this set up on the Featherwing, just in terms of some little technical stuff that we needed to figure out. And he stayed up really late last night, helping me out, and we found a bunch of little, not really bugs, but just nitpicks and things. And he was super helpful. So, great guy, great board. Just
Awesome.
Yeah,
really
and
fun.
one last thing. When I remember the moment when Lady Ada came up with Feather. I remember when we came up with the name. You never imagine what's going to happen with these things, and we never thought in a million years that like there'd be an e-ink reader that's basically a feather wing. We didn't have feather wings in mind when we came up with Feather, but it's so cool to see this because it's obviously this is something that's open and encourage openness, and it encourages people to share. So boy, what a neat thing, and that combines all those in one physical object. A oddly specific object, I think, is the name of
It is oddly specific.
the entity. All right, well, thank you so much.
I see you.
Gambate.
All right, next up, Liz, you had a bunch of projects, or your fingerprints were on them, code that is, this week. What do you got going on?
So I did code up that fun game with the Rose Brothers. Been coding a lot of games recently, so it's been a good escape from these trying times. I'm going to share my screen. The things I'm showing off, unfortunately, aren't really an escape from these trying times, but kind of to help out. I work at a school, and they're trying to get people back to school, and that involves having Zoom in the classrooms. And one thing, I'm on the AV team, and one thing was they were saying we're going to have to break down all the equipment every day and set it back up. And I was like, that's not really sustainable. So I 3D printed this lock that uses a standard laptop lock, and then it's going to latch onto the tripod that we have the webcams on and lock in the cable for the webcam. So then we'll be able to lock it to the podiums in the rooms, and everything can stay up. It's based on this original design by a Thingiverse user that's just for the cable. So I just expanded it out to the podium, and then I have about 36 of them ready to go for all the rooms. So that was one thing. And then the other thing is I've been trying to figure out how to just keep stuff as contactless as possible. And so I have this little project with a Metro with the airlift on it with Adafruit.io. And I was kind of thinking, like, how could my team and like help faculty like wirelessly put stuff in onto the computers. I don't know if this will really work or be really get by our IT team either. But basically, I'll go into my phone, and what's happening is with Adafruit.io, I'm sending a message to this feed, and then it will print words or different key inputs. So I'm going to put in a value. And so I enter in the value 2. I just typed into a notepad here. And then after it's done, it sends a 0. To start off, I'm kind of using 0 and the different values to almost kind of act like a button debounce. So that's something I was playing around with.
Yeah.
So that's things I've been working
Interesting.
Very cool.
Necessity is the mother of invention. It's like,
so-
here's what you need for these classrooms.
Yeah. So first up, Liz, thanks for all the smarts and work that you're going to do to keep everyone safe. Please keep telling this story because, history is happening real time right now.
Yes.
There's a lot of smart people that want to help kids. They want to help parents. They want to help teachers. And a lot of the things that are going to happen are going to be the things that we have to make ourselves. There is no giant plan. There is no playbook. We're all kind of on our own. which on one hand is terrible and scary. On the other hand, we've been training for this for the last decade. We're makers, yay! Like, you know, we can kind of make anything work. So please keep coming back. If you you know, email me and more if there's things that you think are helpful to get out to other educators, because we're all going to have to figure this out. There's going to be no instructions that, you know, drop down from the sky.
No, yeah.
This is it. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, and I wasn't even sure if my
All right.
manager would go for a 3D printed thing, and they did. So if you're in a position like me where you're trying to figure stuff out, but you aren't sure if stuff will go okay, like, don't be afraid to bring it up and suggest it. So.
Yeah. Everyone's looking for ideas. Everyone's looking for someone to make a decision. Someone had told me the analogy. They said it's basically Godzilla time. Because after Godzilla shows up, it's like, you know what? It's Godzilla time.
It's like what are you gonna do?
It's just like, Godzilla's here.
Ask
So
the fairies for help.
yeah.
Who cares?
I'm just
Like, what could
doing
go
it.
wrong?
Like, make it work. Do the best you can.
Yeah, I'm sending pics over Wi-Fi. I'm locking stuff down with plastic, you know. Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah. All you schools out there that got a 3D printer and just printed out the 3D printed Yoda head, now, here's your chance. Now you can do something with it.
Yes,
All right.
definitely.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Liz. I'm looking forward to whatever stuff you work on. Maybe work on a vaccine or something while you're at it. Okay. Okay. All right, next up, let's go to Orlando, and then we're going to go to Mark. Orlando, how's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
Hey.
All right. We're hanging in there.
Perfect. All right. So this week, I've been talking about my watch the last couple weeks ago, measuring heart rate and respiration, something I do for my PhD. So what I've sort of developed, I've done a lot of code libraries for various number of things. So I actually started putting some of them on GitHub. So I just sort of wanted to give folks a preview of what those look like and what they do. So the main ones are basically libraries for filtering, doing a filter in real time.
Yeah.
Filter in real time. FFT, so fast Fourier transform. It's actually a DFT, but I still use the FFT name, I guess, as well as like just some general math things. And there are various different implementations I've noticed on the interweb. When I originally made these, I made these specifically so that they will use integers as opposed to floats. Most of the different implementations on the web, I've noticed they use floats, but floats obviously take a lot of computational power, and so like I'm running these operations basically, you know, hundreds of thousands of times every second. So you know, I have to sort of use integers to speed things up. Originally, when I actually like did the FFT using sine and cosine, it would actually take like I think 80 seconds to run one FFT across 128 samples, which is just completely unrealistic. And by switching to integers, actually brought that down to I think 50 milliseconds, and now it's like 10
That's
milliseconds.
not too bad, yeah.
So anyway, so a lot of the implementations used floats instead of integers, which is why I had to change it. So currently now, I think they're all implemented mostly with signed 16-bit integers. I actually want to change it so that they're all templated classes because I found myself having to use 16 bits or 32 bits, and it's really hard just to like change the entire structure of the code, obviously. So if I switch to a templated class, that would make things a whole lot easier. So like for the RT in this filters libraries basically means real time. This one's actually the only one that's currently a templated class already. And so real time is basically meaning, I don't know how to say it, but you know, it's updating the filter on the sample. This is a pretty simple set of code that I got from Wikipedia, so no like, you know, super fancy things here. I just sort of found a script, and it's also linked to here. I found a script, pseudocode on Wikipedia, and then sort of just wrote it up in C to get it working. And for this one in particular, this one's a high pass filter. Oh, go ahead. Were you about to say something?
No, I'm saying it's not.
Cool. So this one is a basic high pass filter. You set the cutoff frequency, that type of stuff. Maybe I should also have some comment that links to the basics of what filters are in case people just aren't super familiar with them. I know particularly with digital filters, I think of filters in terms of just like cutoff frequency. I know with digital filters, you know, people often think in terms of like coefficients and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really quite understand that. I learned the analog before I learned the digital, so it's just easier for me to think of cutoff frequency and sampling rate, and that gives you your answer. So this is how this one is written. And this is a high pass filter. There's a low pass filter. There's a moving average filter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here's just an example of that one at work. So basically, I was measuring an ECG. I had a little custom ECG thing that I built up. And you can see that the first one here is the unfiltered in blue. It's fairly noisy. And I just put it through a simple low-pass filter. And you can see it cleans it up fairly nicely already. You obviously can do a lot more with it, but it was just me testing out just to make sure the The filter just made it work on a basic level. So that's kind of showing it working. I didn't have a cool example of the FFT because sometimes that can be a little harder to look at if you don't really know what exactly you're supposed to be paying attention to. But in the FFT library, there's just a general FFT. Again, it's really more of a DFT, a discrete. I forget what the D stands for now. Think about it.
It's discrete.
Is it discrete?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll go with that. But I still use the FFT name as opposed to DFT. So you basically give it the samples again in signed 16-bit integers, but I want to change that so it's a templated class, and then it spits out the magnitudes at each frequencies. You can also limit the frequencies that you run it across, so you don't have to run it across the entire, from 0 to half the sampling rate. Because then, if you're only interested in a subset of frequencies, that might make your thing run a lot faster as well. And there's also like a power spectral density as well to get you that information if you're interested. So all this is on GitHub for people to just take advantage of. I just kind of wanted to share that. I'll change them to a templated class, and I'll get them submitted to the Arduino library manager over the next couple of weeks. But I just sort of wanted to share that just for right now.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank you so much, Orlando.
Thank you.
And keep coming back. Okay. Next up, we're going to wrap up with
Mark.
Mark. How's it going, Mark?
Hi, it's good. You guys?
Good to see you.
So I brought back my weather monitor that's doing the station. I've now got a case for it, updated the insides. I'm going to, and this is the first time I've attempted this.
Okay.
There
you go. Live demo.
Yeah.
Yay, temperature.
This is a good time to make a weather thing because the weather is really interesting
and hot
right now everywhere.
So following all the videos that you guys have, I actually was able to make a snap fit case that worked.
Look at that. Look at that.
And mounted all the parts.
That's great.
It's actually updating right now because I just saw the power turn on. I've since added a TPL 5111 timer. So it only turns on every 5 minutes to do an update to the e-ink display, saving a lot of battery power, or will once I actually remember to put the enable pin on the e-ink display, which I forgot. But yeah, now it's just something I can leave on my desk. This case works amazing. Everything following the demos snap fits in so tight.
Cool.
And now to pair up with my weather station, which I have finally finished the guide on, and I put it on Hackster.io. And just before this, I found out that it actually got featured on the front page.
Cool.
Oh, right on. Congratulations.
So, thanks.
If you remember, email me, pt@adafruit.com, and we'll post up the guide on our blog so folks can take a look at it. The other thing I was thinking about is this reminds me of like a physical widget that you use on a phone where you just want to see the weather because it's always a drag to look on a computer because then there's always ads or you're distracted or like something. So this is like, I think it was when the iPhone first came out, I was able to like really enjoy weather for a brief period of time.
Yeah, as somebody who's pretty pale and fair-skinned, knowing what the weather is and whether I'm going to burn up is important to me.
Yeah.
And somebody that just, again, as soon as I got my Apple Watch, I just started checking the weather all the time on it. So,
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the devices at first were like, oh, this is really handy. And then eventually it just turned into a full-time job. Looking at this thing. So like this glanceable ambient device, like there was a company called Ambient Devices. I don't know if they're still around, but you would glance over at an orb. And if the orb was, you could set it up. If the orb was red, it's because I know that means like it's hot out. If it was yellow, it was kind of okay. Green, it was like kind of perfect temperature. And you could just glance across the room. There was
one color.
There was no anything. So I feel like with the technology we have now, Jepler's project today with this knob was another example. It's like, it's very subtle, but it's very powerful and it's very ambient in what it does. This is like another neat example because it gives you all the information without like no computer and phone. I don't want to look at you right now. I just want to know the weather.
Just straight to the point.
Yeah.
You showed me that Kickstarter. They didn't make it, but they had the lead.
There was a really neat Kickstarter where it was all beautiful renderings of pretty much what you made, but you actually made it. So congratulations. Congratulations. You're shipping one customer, you.
Yeah. Well, and sitting at my desk at home now all the time, it's nice to just have something sitting there instead of loading up the weather page all the time. I can just glance over and
Yeah.
Find out if it's worth opening the windows.
Yeah, because once you open up a computer browser, then you're like, well, let me just check the news real quick, and then it's like, oh no, oh no, there's seeds being sent to every state. Don't plant them. That was the news. I just posted that on our blog. Someone's sending seeds to everyone in the U.S. and they're like, the Department of Agriculture is like, don't plant them. This is like right. I don't know what portion of the science fiction movie it is, but this is usually it's like, and then they planted all the seeds. So, anyways,
all right. Well, thank
the
you.
seeds are coming to Canada too. So
really, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel left out. I feel like I would like to get, to see what it is, put it in a little pot or something, and then anyways. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks a lot.
That's our show for tonight.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We're
do you
here.
want Collin to play us out?
Oh, Collin, do you want to? Yeah, that's a good idea. Collin, do you want to play us out with the vote song?
I'll see what I can do here.
We'll see everybody.
I'm assuming that's why
we'll see everybody next week. Don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. AdaBox unboxing. If you didn't get an AdaBox, go to adabox.com and sign up. And we'll see everybody next week. 98 days to vote. This keyboard you can make. You can type.
I'll tell you all about it.
Take it away, Magic Keyboard.
B-O-T-E, 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 vote, B-O-T-E, vote. Space.
Yeah.
All right. Nice for Collin.
All right. The musical styling is Collin. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Big Collin.